Independent Television, and we're still saying Merry Xmas to you. And as you open your boxes of gift items, also do remember that you really need to show appreciation. Well, today is still public holiday, the last one for this week now, because by Sunday is going to be a new week. I do hope that the federal government gives another public holiday for the New Year festivity. Well, even as we talk about the festivity and the Christmas period, we must understand that once it is January, then the issue of election, the issue of the 2019 election becomes very, very clear. And of course, as it stands now, we have less than 60 days before the 2019 general elections. There are some issues that are left to be answered. And of course, there are still some concerns that Nigerians, there would be the electorate, so to say, some concerns that they are still trying to express out there. Who will answer this question? Well, I had to go out to invite an official from the Independent National Electoral Commission at the state, Mr. Wilfred Ifoga, who is the head of voter education, to come and answer some of these questions. And of course, we also have a human rights activist with us and a politician. Gentlemen, you're welcome to this morning on ITV. Mr. Wilfred Ifoga, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And also Mr. Nowita Igbutako, a serial author, human rights activist.
Thank you.
You're welcome to this
It's a pleasure to be here.
And Honorable Desmond Ogbo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And I must also appreciate you guys. I mean, it is the last Wednesday for the year 2018, the last time I'm going to appear on TMI for this year. Each time I called you guys, you always come for the invitation. A very big thank you, to you.
Thank you.
All right, the INEC 2019 election is very, very close by. And where can we really start talking from as far as the election is concerned? Let's start from you.
All right. Let me formally greet the viewers at home. Good morning and Merry Christmas. Like you said, it's less than 60 days. We have about 51 days left, and say 23 hours to the first set of elections. Of course, that comes up in February 16th. And for preparations that INEC has been making, not just at the state level now, but even nationally, we have 3 phases of our activities.
Okay.
We have the green zone, we have the amber zone, and of course the red zone.
Okay, which stage are
right
we
now? We are in the amber zone.
The amber zone. That's second to the last stage.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yes, before now, that was from last year, we had the continuous voter registration to update the voter register that we had. And why it was being done, we had stops. And this particular stops or break was to ensure that what is done for the first 3 months, in the first quarter, they are displayed so that those who registered can go and check to see if their information were properly done. Then and thereafter, the information is integrated and processed. And as at December 2017, we came out with the first batch of cards regarding the CVR exercise. And we continued in 2018, and we rounded up this activity August 31st.
Okay.
This includes those who did transfers from their location to their new location, those who lost their PVCs, those who had issues with maybe destroyed cards or stolen cards, and those who also did correction. All this were done. And thereafter, the exercise was stopped just to give INEC ample time to prepare this information and come back with the cards and give to their respective owners. Then in November, from 6th to 12th, we did what they call the national display of the register, where it's expected that all those who registered and stakeholders go and check the register that INEC has. And these registers were displayed at the various unit level, but it was coordinated from the registration area. And it's expected that those concerned that were supposed to have come, like a few came around to come and say, yes, or the information that INEC has about me is not correct, and based on what I have, so that this information can be corrected. And of course, for objection to maybe names that are already on the register, maybe these people are dead or they are not supposed to have been registered in the first place. So this was done during that period. And after then, that was when INEC went back, integrated the information fully, and they came out with the cards. So I'm happy to say as at about just before these holidays started, we came out with the last batches of cards, especially those who did transfers, those who lost their cards, those who had issues with one another, and also those who registered just about the time it was closed to go and pick up their cards. So as I speak, just after the holidays now, every individual concerned can go to any of the INEC local government area offices we have in the ATNGs in Edo State to see and pick up their cards with proof of ownership. Yes, we gave out slips for those who did transfers. Then those who just registered, they had a temporary voter slip. But then, even if it's lost, they can still approach them. Of course, their photograph is there to also identify them.
All right,
properly.
you work with the Independent Electoral Commission, and of course, there's no doubt that if I ask you to score yourself now, probably you give yourself 80 to 90. But you will recall that there are complaints here and there. Now, you talked about the display of the voter register, and I remember I brought you on this platform, on this same program this morning on ITV, and we talked about how some would-be voters are saying that they went there, wrong surname for their name, wrong names for their name. Some went there and of course they never saw their name. Now, in all this, can we really say that INEC is ready for this election?
Well, if you say during the display that people found all these irregular on the register. Yes, it's expected. We expected some of all these things to happen. It can be pressures from even the officers handling the registration. Yes, at times it can even be from typographical error. So that's why we created that time for them to come, lay these claims, especially when it concerns you, you lay claims. If it's concerning somebody, it becomes an objection, so that INEC can now go back and correct this information. If you don't come, we will not know that this information, they are not correct. So we believe that those concerns actually came and these corrections were made. And we are out with the cards already. Okay. Now,
Nowuta Igbutako, you're a human rights activist and also somebody that is so interested in the politics of this country. Now, the issue of the electoral bill, it's a big issue with the politicians and the electorate, because for some electorates, they will rather prefer the electoral bill signed into law by the president, so that issues that it talks about will be something that they can vote with. Then, of course, for some politicians, the way it is now, after all, INEC said the other day that they were going to conduct the election with the extant laws, the existing laws and all that. Now, in all of this, can you say that the politicians and, of course, the electorate are ready for this election?
Well, first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas to viewers. I think politicians, we can say they are ready. They are ready, and they are making frantic efforts to set themselves.
Even with the reactions coming from the politicians about the non-signing of the Electoral Act.
Well, the way situation is now, I don't see the president signing that document. I see the extant law, taking control of the elections in 2019, you understand? So I think politicians are doing their best. And what we should know, that Nigerian politicians, they could be desperate. And each time you want to play on the intelligence of the Nigerian people, of voters, you understand? So I feel they are doing their bits, but unfortunately, most politicians that we have in this climb, they are not sincere. And the kind of people that are being thrown up from different political parties are not the kind of people that Nigerian voters really want to vote for. But it's unfortunate and it is tragic that we don't have choice. Because the cerebral, competent, focused, missionary characters are not allowed to come out. That is our concern for the civil society. Because the right candidate that would have done something positive on behalf of the people are not there. We have money bags still doing their things in the system. So it's unfortunate that Nigerians, voters, are not having the best people that should, that should prevail over their destinies. You understand? But what do we do in a situation like this? We want to advise Nigerian people. We want to advise Nigerian electorate. Even in the midst of this mediocracy, mediocres who are not, that we should go out for at least filter some of these guys and make sure the right people are elected. You understand? For instance, it is unfortunate, it is pathetic to recollect that in other climes, like America, in Europe, you have people in their 40s, people in their 50s, throwing up themselves, to be voted for. And the climate is conducive to to produce such characters. But in this claim, that is not the issue. The best people are not there. So what do we do? It's unfortunate after many years of independence. But if we say the politicians are ready, I think they are ready. And some of the things politicians are saying about the electoral bill, whether it is signed or not, extant bill or no bill. On the day of elections, it's a different ball game. Nigerian politicians that we know are desperate. On election day, the typical Nigerian politicians will not remember the extant law. On election day, the typical Nigerian politician will not care about the people.
Okay, let me pause you so that I can bring Honorable Desmond to go in. Now, Honorable Desmond, from the look of things, I think all have been said about the Electoral Act, and the President has told us his mind that there's no time anymore. So it means that he cannot sign, he will not sign the Electoral Act. Now, INEC came up to tell us that they are going to conduct the election with the extant laws. Now, I don't know where this reaction is coming from. Now, when we talk about the extant laws, that was what the 2015 election was conducted with. Yeah. And you and I know that most of us, we adjudge the 2015 election to be one of the fairest elections in recent times. Now, these same people that judged that election still react that the president did not sign the 2019, signed the electoral bill. Now, if that election was conducted with the extant law, where do you think this reaction is coming from? Why should it be?
You see, in a democratic setting like ours in Nigeria, the reaction is that of Oliver Twist.
Asking for
it's
more.
Normal. Because if you knew very well that before the 2015 election, there had been some hiccups, some abnormalities and all that, there was an improvement on it premised on the 2015 election. And the INEC did well. There was an improvement. The people who are agitating for the signing of such law are asking that there should be a better election. So if they ask for it, it's not out of place. But if within the time frame that the president looked at it and that the bill was sent to the president 4 times and there were corrections as to how it would be better, and eventually within the time frame is not allowed, and even what they're asking for, there are some aspect of retroactive and retrospective aspect of the law which ought to have taken place primary processes ought to have been captured in the election, the electoral bill, and post primary era ought to have been captured. All these event has overtaken it. So now that the law that we Nigerians or politicians are agitating to be passed into law, the event has to ought to have been overtaking it. Then there's no point in bringing it and making it topmost priority. The idea is that let us use the extant law, looking at the previous elections in Osun, in Ekiti, to now make an improved arrangement so that to disabuse the minds of the electorate and the politicians who are the major stakeholders, which I'm sure gave birth to the reintroduction of the electronics and para-collation sector. And if you look at the bill properly, what INEC just introduced now is in that bill. So, and that is the core aspect of the bill which politicians were apprehensive about. The INEC man is here. So, for some of us, we say things the way it is, not mindful of the fact that we belong to a political party. But the priority and the betterment of our country is our own topmost priority. So our submission today is based on how Nigeria and the electorate and the own bias of power will conduct an election that will be acceptable by all. So I think the idea of people saying that yes, president didn't sign it into law, that could now become a bottleneck to the conduct of free and fair election should be far away from the reality. Okay. If we too, the politician, must be alive to our responsibility by making sure that the rules are adhered strictly to. the extant law is okay, but we need an improvement. If the law of our land, the grand norm, does not accommodate the insertion of this new bill, then we should just make do with the extant law,
Okay. Now,
which is even better enough to conduct an election. It's not left for the politician, we the politician, that carry the money. It is not the INEC that tell us that we should use money to buy vote. It is not the INEC that engage talks to go and snatch the bus and stop the ballot paper. It is not the INEC. So if the INEC are up and doing, of which I know, they should step up their arrangements, making sure that they are fair. If they are fair and the election is free, nobody will cry foul. I think the idea is that we the politicians should also adjust as INEC have adjusted.
okay, now, Mr. INEC, please permit me to use that word now. There seems to be this lack of trust, so to say, from the politicians, most especially politicians that are on the other side of this government now. I'm talking about other political parties. Now, what is INEC doing about this to kind of take back that confidence? Because INEC is supposed to be an unbiased umpire in this game. I mean, there should be some level of trust from all the political parties. But the way it is now, it appears that certain political parties don't just trust INEC as far as this election is concerned. So where does INEC go from here?
Well, I think for me to answer that, I just want us to take us from where we are coming from and where we are right now. If we look at, for you to have a credible election, you need to have a very good voter register, okay? So I can remember we came from the analog phase to the digital phase. I think prior to 2002, 2003, we had this registration process where cards are printed and then people come to register, no photos, nothing. It was just done by registration officers in the field, and that process was flawed. So I remember when Dr. Ebere Gubadia, now late, was the chairman of INEC. We now came in with digitalizing the process, and we started with the OMRO form thing. They share your information and they feed into the system, it scans it and whatever. That process was abused. And thereafter, when Professor Maurice Iwu came, we said, okay, no, we're going to do the direct data capture system. As we are seeing, you will take your photograph, we take your biometric features and everything and put in the system, gather it from the field and process. And that was improved upon when Professor Jega came in, and that is what we are using currently. And thereafter, we came up, yes, we found out that the accreditation process during the election is still having its own issues. And that was why what we now call, although people call it smart card reader, in INEC we call it the INEC Voter Authentication System, IVAS. So the card reader is there. These are just to ensure that the accreditation process is smooth. Although, yeah, there are a bit of anything, people accepting it or not accepting it or whatever.
What is the status of the card readers?
Yes, for the card reader, we are still
card readers in the Edo State now.
Yes.
Because I remember sometime, each time I have anybody from INEC, I always ask this question,
yes,
because I have concern.
Okay.
I remember sometime during the rainy season,
yes, okay, when
these
yes,
card readers were destroyed. Yes. Those card readers now, are they in perfect condition now in Edo State?
Yes, we had some of them submerged in water, not all of them per se. And since then, we have already made a formal report. And
have they been replaced?
Yes. Not that they have brought them now, but efforts have been made to get them replaced.
Will they be replaced?
Of course, why would they will. It's not like maybe because they were destroyed, we don't have reserve with them at the national headquarters. Are you getting it? So for those they can fix, they have fixed them. Then they are going to augment for the number we need. We'll use them before the election.
Okay,
so
now back to you.
Yes. Okay, as I was saying, so we have all tried to make sure we just like Honorable Desmond, I just like his statement he used. INEC is improving, but the other stakeholders are not improving. Are you getting it? They don't want to follow the trend that which INEC is following in order to ensure that we have free, fair, and credible election. Just the issue of, again, vote buying. When these things happen, they blame INEC for it. INEC is not just working alone. We have stakeholders. If, for example, we say, this is what we are going to do, we expect people to follow suit, but no, people still want to do it the old way. But when you do it that way, the blame falls on INEC. But I just want to assure everybody this, that INEC is open. And what we're doing is this. Like in the past few weeks, more than a month now, we have been undergoing capacity building for various officers that will be engaged in the electoral process with INEC staff. Are you getting it? On the process and what we need to do. Monitoring each stage as they come. So it's not like maybe we are not preparing, but most of our activities are latent. Although it's not showing, but we are working vigorously. And very soon now, we'll soon start engaging the ad hoc personnel that will be using during the election. Because in Edo State here, we are just over 300 permanent staff. So in other words, for us to carry out the election and for people to work, that means we need to engage other people. So that's why the recruitment process, just to ensure that other people's are part of it. There's the MOU that was signed with the NYSC. So in that, for example, now all the ad hoc personnel, especially the field workers, are supposed to be the corpers. But where they are not enough, federal students. So like in Edo State now, we have University of Benin and Federal Polytechnic, Auchi. So our personnel, they are drawn from there, especially from the 200 levels. We don't take 100, we take from 200 levels.
Okay, for this election.
Yeah, exactly. I think that has been how we've been doing it. Just that people misconceive the idea of what we do. But we take from between 200 and 300 levels, certainly not those in their final year. So that if there is anything, these people can easily be reached.
Now, what about the issue of using government officials as returning officer? It's not okay by some political parties. I mean, a government official that reports to the government of the day, for some people, is not supposed to have anything to do with the election. But you have situations whereby a government official is a returning officer for an election. Ordinarily, the suspicion is that he would probably do the bidding of his employer.
I don't know. Because, okay, fine. You know, if you watch...
Federal University.
Yes, we use Federal University lecturers for the duties of returning officers, collation and returning officers. And from people always suspecting government of the day, then who then are you going to pick to do this assignment that you never blame? Are you getting it? Okay, INEC as an agency now is of the government as well. Are you getting it? But there's one thing I want us to see. I want us to see the process that have been arranged for it. Okay, for example now, from the distribution of electoral materials at the national headquarters, the stakeholders are involved. All parties involved, they will send a representative to the national headquarters whenever these materials, especially the sensitive materials, when they are being distributed. They will be there. They will take all every information concerning the material being distributed. And as it's going down to the state level, the state stakeholders are invited. That's the political parties now. The security outfits, they're also invited. Then the, observers, both local and international, they're always there when these things are done. And they take their information as well. And you find that the process is being monitored. Thank God for the technology we have now, mobile phones and everything. So your information is easy to pass on to the other level as it cascades. Then at the local government level, as you're doing it from the state level, they are getting the information. Then from the local government level, as they move them, you know, we have an arrangement now in order to shorten the process, the time spent when materials are moved from the local government office to maybe the unit level. That's why we have what they call the camp arrangement, that we call the rack. At the rack level, it's a place all personnel that work during the election, we camp a night before the election to reduce the time spent of officials getting to their polling unit to carry out their assignments. So they are expected to be there, and materials, both sensitive and not, they are always in the camp. So, and what is it called now? The stakeholders now, referring to the parties and even the police and others, they are expected to be there with them also and see the way these materials are distributed. Yeah. And if there are shortfall, it is reported back to the local government office. If need be, a replacement will be sent. Okay. So this is to ensure as they move in the morning, nothing is lagging. So these are processes. So we expect that. So like I was telling someone, I said, even if it's the chairman of a party, appoint as presiding officer, he cannot afford to do otherwise because every other person is there. So what are you going to do?
Okay. Well, the program is this morning on ITV, on independent television here in Benin State. We'll take a short pause now. And of course, on the other side, when we'll come back, we are going to be looking at preparations so far on the part of the civil rights activist groups in Nigeria, and also see some of the allegations, particularly for the president of the day. I'm going to be asking Desmond Ubu. It's been alleged that the APC is using the trader money as a way of trying to woo votes. We're going to be talking on that when we return. Please stay tuned.
TMI, every opinion counts.
All right, thank you so much. The program is still this morning on ITV, looking at the 2019 elections. and of course preparations so far. We have Mr. Wilfred Ifoga from INEC and Nowita Egbotako, human rights activist, Honorable Desmond Ugbo, one-time chairman of Ego Local Government Council, is also here with us on the program today. Now, Nowita Egbotako, let's talk about your own background, the human rights group, organizations in Nigeria. Now, what is their preparation so far as this election is concerned? You want to bear your mind?
Well, the civil society organizations have always been ready. We have always been concerned passionately about the success of electoral process in Nigeria. And never before I feel be more prepared the way we are now. You see, because we have grants, we have networks that facilitate the process of monitoring elections. They bring grants, they ensure that we are adequately mobilized physically, financially, and otherwise. So the civil society is more than ready. The society is more than ready because the underdevelopment in Nigeria is dialectic. Nigeria has gone through horrors. It is tragic. It's dialectic.
But some say your activism is only geared towards the government, not against some anomalies. You take, for example, this issue of vote buying. Now, the ordinary Nigerian will blame those that give the money for the vote. And also, some expect the civil rights activist group to talk to Nigerians, not to sell their votes. I don't know what they are doing about that.
Well, we are doing wonderful. But when you are in a country where people have been impoverished, where people are living below the poverty line, what else do you want? Because I remember during the last election in my unit, some people were giving 5,000 naira, said, well, this is my own. This will make me a pot of soup.
And of course you saw it.
I saw it.
What did you do?
I talked to them. I said, they don't listen. Poverty is a disease. The social poverty has penetrated people's, psyche. People can no longer think straight. You understand? And this apathy, this belief that what am I going to do? After all, the politicians will still do their thing. The politicians will still through themselves, and they will still be elected, whether with or without their power, their PVC. But I am excited what the INEC man is talking about. That more or less he has given us a picture that looks like a foolproof for what we are saying. Even if a government official is appointed as a returning officer or another person appointed as a security officer, it's a kind of network you cannot rig. And I wonder the rigging that people are talking about. At what level is the rigging taking place? Like what we have in Ekiti and other places. But what I see is that the vote buying is an issue. It's a phenomenon that we must address in order for Nigeria to move forward. So we are calling Nigerian people to ensure that their votes are not bought. They should not allow poverty to becloud their vision. They should not allow poverty not to make them to see tomorrow. Because it is pathetic. It is most pathetic that at this stage of the development of this country, we are more or less parabolating. It's part of the effort being put in place by INEC. You understand? So at what, if I were to ask the INEC man, at what stage is the so-called rigging being taking place? Because I know that the PVC is a powerful tool. Once you vote, it is, it counts. But I think what we should look at is vote buying. How do INEC stop vote buying? How do the federal government stop vote buying? It's an issue. It's an issue. So we are doing our best, but poverty has brought people below the level that they no longer think well.
Okay. Now, Honorable Desmond Ugbo, your own party, the APC, is being alleged, that your own party, the Trader Money program, is one ways that the party has, put to preach to voters, so to say,
to electorate,
to the electorate to vote for them. I mean, the idea of giving 10,000 to the ordinary Nigerian monthly, for some people, they are not too comfortable with that. I mean, even if it has to come...
For some political party.
Yeah, for some political parties, they are not comfortable with that. And even if it has to come, not in these last hours, prior to the election. I don't know what you have to say.
It's just about the party promises to Nigerians, to traders, to the SMEs, the small and medium enterprise.
But even if you call it the SME, what is 10,000?
Well, let me tell you. That is, you are looking at your salary. That is why you are looking at 10,000 as a mega money. To some, just like he has rightly mentioned, 5,000 naira can sway them, can make them to be abnormal. So that is the poverty level of our client. That the federal government has come out benevolently to give out 10,000 naira to traders. I did it when I was campaigning. Prior to my election, there is this revolving loan I was giving to market women, particularly those in Ogida market, Daike market. I give them 10,000 naira. The first set of people I gave was 20 people. Give them 20,000 naira, 10,000 naira. Then they will be returning 1,000 naira every month to give to another person. Don't pay. Just bring it. It's a revolving loan. Bring 10,000 naira, then we'll give to the next person. Give to the next person. So
without interest?
Without interest. The idea is to boost their trade and to ensure that they can put food on their table.
And also to make them vote for you too.
Indirectly.
Okay, so you agree?
Definitely. So let me tell you. You don't agree that let me tell you. You can't go and vote for somebody who is just promising, and somebody is doing it already.
Yes.
And what you advise is just to work on the template and improve on it. And if you have any idea on the best way to do it, then you give. That is why you are there. So for somebody to now corrupt every action of the government or inaction of the government as being preparing to buy votes, that one is, we should try to think better. I think the timing could be responsible. It is something the APC has promised Nigeria. And if this time is coming to this part of the country, that's long started in other parts of the state, the country.
Now, Honorable
so that is on the issue of
Nigerians are reacting to this is that it has been said in some places, it's been alleged that before that money is given to you, the government asks you, do you have a voter card?
Absolutely a black lie. It's not a template. Let me tell you.
What is
somebody called me just about a week ago.
Black lie now that they don't ask you if you have a voter card.
Never.
Before they give you the 10,000.
It's not a yardstick. Your PVC is not a yardstick to collect that money. Let me just give this account. That one of the leaders called me and said that we should assemble those traders that you know that has a wealth between the range of 10,000 naira to assist them, because especially this Christmas period, if they use 10,000 naira to buy a bag of tomatoes and they say they can make 3,000 out of it within a short period of time, you know this is a rush hour for such a commodity. So he said I should bring 5 people, not necessarily APC member or other political party members, which I did. I said this is a lofty idea which Oshomole started when he came on board in 2007. When he assumed office, he engaged this youth empowerment scheme, regardless of political affiliation. Exactly what they are doing now. So the idea is not for APC member alone, for crying out loud. It is to encourage Nigerians, is to assist Nigerians to be up and doing. Because we are just coming out from economic recession. The president mentioned it, that there are mixed blessings that we are celebrating this year. Mixed blessings of people who perhaps were down economically, they are rising up again, despite the fact that yes, we have a lot of infrastructural deficit, which the president is also trying to revamp. The idea is that we should stop the idea of saying this thing is for political gimmicks, is for political plans and all that. we should continue to build on the existing policies of government, especially the good ones, and discard the old ones, the bad ones, so that we can get to the promised land. Now, we talk about the civil society organization. Thank God the INEC has given the organized civil society organization a very pivotal role to play in the idea of this reintroduction of electronics and para collection centers.
That's true.
That they engage the civil society organization to help to monitor. You know, you were asking an INEC man, where do rigging come in?
At what point?
At what point?
You see?
Okay.
It's part of all these...
When INEC beef up their arrangement to make sure that the idea of coming to snap ballot paper or ballot box does not arise, politicians also devise a means or say, okay, before you get to the voting center, I will procure your mind, your conscience, and buy your vote.
That's vote buying.
Then you place somebody there at the voting center who will be giving signal to whoever voted for the party. To us, we are progressive. It's not good. And that is what happened in Ekiti and Osun State. Even the opposition party and the government, everybody are guilty of it. We are politicians, we are from this clan, we are from this country. INEC has now devised another means now. At the point of voting, there should be a CCTV camera who will monitor. Whoever is giving you eye sign or is giving you body sign or handband will be captured. You can use it thereafter at your tribunal to prosecute your case. So it's a welcome development. We should continue to build on what we have in order to make a better election. Okay. We talk about the ASU. You were asking him, where will you now get the manpower to conduct the election? Are you also aware that the ASU are warming up for a nationwide strike?
ASU is still on strike.
It's on strike as we speak. Right. And now the NYSC, the COP member, cannot be, they are not enough for the election, considering the manpower required for the election. Even the lecturers whom they use as collation officer and returning officer, they are at home. I'm not sure they are going to come back from home and begin to now conduct election. Even the 300 level they use to supplement the one they have, they are at home. What would they not have? That is the reason why INEC is also apprehensive that the needful is not done, that the election might not hold. Because those are the things they require to hold a peaceful election. Okay, now we also talk about security. Yeah. Now, just yesterday we saw in Zamfara State about three Mopo were killed, then 13 military men were killed. And as we speak, there are pockets of soft targets that the insurgencies are planning just to destabilize the election. What are nation doing about that? Beautiful question. Now, only just about a week or more, that the IG, the current IG, will retire. Now, politicians will make more out of mountain from there. That Idris, is he coming back? Is the president going to reappoint him? Then the opposition will say, no, both of you are from the same tribe. Now, we will now look at the president and even the presidency as a whole, so now fix that. That will loom. Okay, it's a pending loom. Let me also mention this, please. Let me also mention this. The political campaigns. What message are we sending to the electorate? Is it a message that Evans stole money, is a thief? Is that what we convince the electorate? Is it not right for us to now begin to tell the people what Evans can do? To right the wrongs, if there is any wrongs presently. Until we now check the message we pass across to the electorate. Violence, election riggers will continue to be gallivanting at the corridor of power. Okay. Now, let me bring Mr. Wilfred in, just like what Desmond said. Now, I think he just told us some very, very salient points. That I don't know if INEC is worried over this, or if they are trying to find a solution to it. As we speak now, ASU is on strike. Students are on, they are no more in the classes. Your returning officer, your would-be returning officers are not at work. Now the election is less than 60 days from now. Now all of this, don't you think that the election might just be postponed? And be shifted. And of course, in addition to that, now he also talked about, like we saw in Ekiti State, or like it was being alleged in Ekiti State, that there were some polling units that were given some certain items. Take, for example, white handkerchief.
that once you hold a white handkerchief, okay, it's believed that you are voting for a certain party. Now, I don't know if INEC has any law, you know,
Yes.
to kind of maybe promulgate or go against somebody that gives such, gives such behavior during elections.
Okay, well, let me just start from this one you just said last now, the issue of vote buying. You see, INEC has put a lot in place just to ensure that the secrecy of the voter is, the secrecy of the voter is protected. No one knows who the voter goes there actually to thumbprint for. First of all, at the polling units, we have what we call the voting cubicle. It's to ensure that nobody knows. You go in there, do whatever you want to do, you close your ballot paper and bring it back and drop inside the ballot box. And the process is called the open secret ballot system, in the sense that it is secret because they don't know who you're voting for, and it is open because you bring the ballot paper to drop in the box. The ballot paper, in the sense that not that who you're voting for is displayed, but it is covered, closed. And now I just want to use this opportunity to let them know, because of the number of parties we have and have indicated interest in these elections we are having, the ballot paper is not going to be like the way we used to know it.
Yeah, but don't you react to situations
really,
like,
I'm saying
during the election, you find voters coming holding white
Yes,
handkerchief.
that's what I want to
Don't
say.
you ask the question, what is happening?
No, let's do this. Let's continue. So, I was trying to give a bit of voter education on how you wrap so that nobody knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
Fine. We have 4 field officers in a unit, the presiding officer and 3 other assistant presiding officers, quite engaged with the duties they are having, attending to people on the queue, accrediting them, and the voting cubicle is a bit from where they are, just to ensure that even you at the officiating table does not even know what the person is doing, and that no other person should be around there. That is the arrangement we have. Are you getting it? When they go in there, they do it, but it's just fortunate that this thing has come in at the issue of the vote buying, where some openly just display or something like that. So now, even as we speak, during elections, I was in Oshun, and I was part of the officials who gave them a kind of reorientation at the camp centers on what and what they need to do, ensuring that wherever the cubicle is, no other person is there, and giving them a bit of voter education before the process starts. That once we give it, because they prefer the ballot paper and give to them. What's the intention? The intention is to ensure that when the person has done the thumb printing, the person folds back the ballot paper, exactly, and brings it and drop. So the expectation is that no other person, no person is supposed to. So whenever the person goes far off what we are talking about, it's already a breach of the process. See, for example, INEC is not really happy that this thing is happening, because as part of our mission statement is for us to be an independent election management body that can conduct free, fair, and credible elections to sustain democracy in Nigeria. And as part of our vision is to ensure that we'll be among the best election management body. But this issue of vote buying is tainting that goal we are trying to achieve. Are you getting it? Moreover, only INEC is not involved in the process. We have the observers, we have the security agencies, and of course, the political party agents themselves. Are you getting it? So that's why each of these groups, they have to be on ground for this thing to succeed. Moreover, I find out that most of these things don't happen just within the vicinity of the polling unit. It is outside it. So the presiding officer will be too busy. Now start checking around who is giving out money or is not giving out money. So these are some of the things. That's why we want everyone involved to help in the situation. Yes, the attention of the presiding officer can be drawn by security agents or somebody, somebody is giving out money based on what is happening now. And the presiding officer is convinced about what's happening. We give instruction to the get that person arrested. Because it's, whether you like it or not, that's bribery. So whoever is giving it is giving, and whoever is taking it is receiving. Okay. So based on laws already existing, they can be prosecuted.
Okay, last week or last 2 weeks, we heard that, I'll come to you. Last week or last 2 weeks, we heard that INEC gave a press release that the last batch of voter card, that is out. So what is the response like now?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. Let me work with facts here now. Yes, actually, there was a press release. I mentioned when I said that we have received some cards. It's probably those are the transfers, reprints of their cards. They really complain when batches of cards are coming that we not told them, no, December we'll get it. And like I said, yes, we have received them. And
how many have you received?
Let me put it this way now. For cards, those were registered between 2017 and 2018. The total cards we have received for those group of people, transfer and everything, is 303,916. 3,916. So if you add it to what we had earlier on, arising from 2011 and 2015, yes, 2011 and 2015. So the total we have received so far is about 2,156,380.
Okay, so what
we have given out so far
collection
is
here?
1,556,148.
Even with the last release.
Even with the last release. So as at 21st, because I'm giving you is as at 21st of December. So the uncollected PVCs is 600,232.
600,000.
Yes, 600,000 in Edo State alone. Uncollected. So I want to say this. The response in terms of people coming out to come and pick up their cards is quite low. It's not that we are not saying it. During most of your programs, you like just now when we had the break, because there's somebody being asked, have you collected one person? So we expect even when these programs go on, and even in the civil society groups, they are doing enough. Even as I speak, we have voter education officers in each of the local government area. And just about 2-3 days back, just before the break, the local government officer had stakeholders meeting with the stakeholders there to also let them know about these things. But at the end, you find out that it's not in tandem with what's expected when they are collecting their PVCs. So without these PVCs, you cannot really do most of these things you are talking about, this change or whatever. So you cannot really exercise them. So we find out that most people really come out to express their mind on social media, but yet they don't go there to do what they're supposed to do by collecting their PVCs.
All right, now which I as a wrap up now, uncollected PVC is about 600 something thousand. That's worrisome.
Very worrisome. I think the reason is not far-fetched. Vote buying. The reason is not far-fetched. There's apathy about elections. So we say, man, what else? I don't vote. And the kind of people that are parading themselves as candidates, they are not the best guys around.
But you can the political parties have given them to us. So let's leave it there.
So I think what we should be looking at is how do we nip electoral offenses? I was hearing electoral offenses tribunal at the time. Is there no law extant with INEC to tackle these guys? Because it's just like crime and punishment. If people know that they commit a crime and they punished adequately, I think they will run.
And that's
because I think I wrote one of my columns. I think I wrote something about electoral offenses tribunal. Is there nothing else in the extant law with INEC? Because that is the bottom line. When, apart from vote buying, other electoral malpractices, if people know that they will go in for it and they will really go to jail for it, then people will run from such a crime. I think that is what we should look at. We should keep saying it. It is not too late. Between now and the next election, let's see how we can culprits can be apprehended and culprits will be punished according to the law. I think that is the way to go. If you don't do that, people will still be manipulating the thing, parabolating, and they will be going to be where we are, and it's unfortunate.
Now, Honorable Desmond, can we hear your own roundup?
Very quickly, to be candid, in some voting centers, INEC do assist.
How do you mean?
I'm talking practically,
yes,
because
yes.
Sometimes we do buy the returning officers and their men to throw away the.
Are you speaking from
facts?
Which
I'm a practitioner.
Can you give which one is particularly are you making reference?
Allow me to say this first.
No, whatever we say.
To be candid, I'm talking about.
Are you speaking
around 2011 election?
From experience.
That is why at the beginning I said that INEC has improved. And they too are also mindful of making sure that they block all these loopholes that politicians capitalize on to rig election. That is why it's shifting from one act to another. If you are sincere and if you are with me, in 1999 there's something like vote buying. It was about thuggery.
And smash the thing and
yes, just stop it.
But now PVC is strong.
In 2013, 2003, we saw another pattern. Even to contest election that time, if you are not a courtist, they won't give you nomination. Because you need to bring more guys to come and do the job. But it has changed over this year. I've been there, so I know what I'm saying. So at a time, Yes, you know, some of these ad hoc staff, it is recently that they now started using coppers and university students. It was primary school teachers then. Do you know, the first time I entered into politics is through a presiding officer. I started as a pool clerk, then the next election I became a president. So I know all these things. We did it. But I'm not comfortable with it. How do they assist this fraud? It's by making sure that the familiar face you know, don't talk to them. Then if you are tenacious and we have more people there are some political parties, they don't have people in that unit. It will become a we affair. Who hijack it and use it to rig other units that we are less powerful. That's what we do. But it has evolved and is gradually evolving to a better election where every eyes will be on it. Do you know where the game changed? Formerly we were PDP. We know how to do it. We left PDP and formed ACD, AC, ACN. We are now in APC. So all those people who are rigging up there, we also know them. So if you are coming with whatever trick, then I'll challenge you on it. You can't do anything. Okay. So I think the bitter truth is that INEC too should step up their games to make sure that all these things are nipped in the bud and reduced.
Right,
civil society too should be apolitical.
And also the politicians too.
We should try our best to ensure that this country becomes a better place for us to live.
Thank you so much. We're going to come here one more time, plenty times
Yeah,
before the
plenty
election.
of-
So that we can further educate us. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.